Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. My name is Darryl Kwao. Coming up this afternoon, Tourism Minister Aboagye-Wiafe settles the controversial reopening of bars and clubs by its agency, Ghana Tourism Authority, amidst Ghana's increasing cases of COVID-19. Also coming up, we focus on how businesses are being impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll be hearing from bookbinders as well as business communities, businesses in Muslim communities, I should say. Also coming up, Chamber of Mines asking government to remove certain taxes on diesel to stay competitive on the world market. And we've got the details coming up in this half hour of business news. Welcome back. In our first story, the Ghana Chamber of Mines says it's burdened with several taxes on the price of diesel that makes Ghana's gold business uncompetitive on the world market. Energy Sector Recovery Levy and Price Stabilization Levy are expected to be cut out of the cost of diesel from mining companies since they pay upfront in dollars. Odilia Ntiamwa sat with the CEO of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Okoni, on several issues in the mining sector.
More than 2 months since Ghana got its first coronavirus case, several companies in the global value chain have been affected either positively or negatively. The gold sector, though, has seen a substantive rise in price owing to its store of value, with a current price at $1,700 an ounce. The sector is struggling, however, to send goods to buyers. Now, companies will have to send gold on chartered flights at a high cost.
We have a situation where you don't have any commercial flights coming in. The airports have been shut. Most mining companies generally would use commercial flights to take their doré out there to LBMA certified refineries for refining. And unfortunately, we have a situation where, for good reason, the airports have been shut. So an alternative which the companies have actually engineered is to look at chartered flights. And I think that is working pretty well.
The sector for years has also been paying for fuel at high costs owing to certain taxes. Energy Sector Recovery Levy and the Price Stability Levy are but a few.
That certainly is around the pricing for diesel.
Yes.
And if you look at the pricing for diesel, it's so padded with lots of levies and taxes, and it makes us quite uncompetitive. We have member companies who have operations not just in Ghana, but they even have within the sub-region, and even in countries which are landlocked, where you expect the price of diesel for the earth-moving equipment to be much higher because of double handling and so on and so forth. Their prices tend to even be lower. So naturally, you would want to start asking questions and drilling down to find out why you have such a situation. And it boils down to the taxes and levies which are actually slapped on the price of diesel to the mines. Most of them should not be applicable to the mining industry. We continue to engage. In fact, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, we had to file a letter to the Ministry of Energy for consideration.
Still related to the sector, the CEO of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Okoni, also wants government to review the 9% royalties which ends up in the various communities to 30%.
The whole policy of derivation, which is behind the plowback of the 9% of royalty to host communities, is why we believe that where minerals are actually won from, they should get a lot more, substantially more of the revenue coming from the mining sector. So we've had a situation over the years in this country where the plowbacks don't get to the communities. And even if they get there, sometimes 2 years late, sometimes 3 years late. And it goes in such an ad hoc fashion that the agents of development in the communities, i.e. the assemblies, the district assembly, the municipal assemblies, cannot plan with these revenues.
Ghana operates more than 16 large-scale mines with more than 900 small-scale miners.
Turning to oil and gas now, Chief Executive of the Petroleum Commission has allayed fears that the coronavirus outbreak is going to derail oil and gas production in the country. According to Aboagye-Wiafe Jr., none of the companies operating in Ghana's upstream sector has been hit with the case of the pandemic. He attributed this to safety protocols being adhered to by these companies. He made this known as the Commission took delivery of some solar-powered hand-washing machines to reduce further spread of the disease.
Businesses around the world are reeling under the effects of COVID-19. While some companies have had to lay off its workers, others are cutting down on production output as a means of staying afloat. The petroleum sector is no exception, prompting fears among industry watchers that this may affect the petroleum sector and to a large extent its output. CEO of Ghana's Petroleum Commission, Aboagye-Wiafe, says measures are in place to ensure the sector is not affected.
So far, I'm able to report that the companies, you can mention the Talos, the ENIs, the Yensens, the Modex, they operate the FPSOs and what have you. No reports of COVID has come to us from there. And I think that it is because the companies have taken the issues very seriously and are following the protocols. They've gotten a lot of non-essential staff to come onshore. And so I think that the numbers, even offshore, have gone relatively low, just to ensure that COVID, does not first of all come offshore and then spread.
Is it affecting the output?
No, not in any way. For the companies that are producing oil, the reports that we have, the interactions we have with them, there's no effect on production. Production is on course.
The Commission took delivery of some solar-powered hand-washing machines to reduce further spread of the disease. He says they are putting measures in place to ensure the safety of its workers.
I think that like every other institution in the Republic, COVID-19 has affected us. But I want to say that it hasn't stopped us from working. We've followed the protocols, we've followed the directives of the President and the Ministry of Health, Ghana Health Service, and other, related institutions and what they have to offer. And I must say that so far, so good. Petroleum Commission, we are rotating staff. We all kinds of, the Public Services Commission has also given certain directives which we are following. And so far, like I said, so good. There's no cause for alarm.
The solar-powered hand-washing machine with its motion sensors prevents its users from having direct contact with any of its parts. Here is a co-founder of Magnifico Solutions, manufacturers of the machine, explaining its components and how they function.
The SunSync is a solar-powered hand-washing system. It has a 250 megawatt solar panel on the roof. It has lithium batteries, 100 amps lithium batteries. It has a water pump that pumps water, 5 liters of water in a minute. The SunSync is a touchless wash-hand system with a sensor tab, whereby when you reach out close to the sensor tab, the water automatically starts coming without touching the taps. Unlike the Victoria buckets, whereby you have to touch the bucket, open it and close it, pick up the tissue, and still wipe your hands. So there's too much contact with the Victoria buckets.
Aboagye-Wiafe further called on other entities to support made in Ghana products.
To one of our top stories this afternoon, the Tourism Minister, Aboagye-Wiafe, has been emphasizing that drinking bars and clubs remain closed as the country tries to tackle the coronavirus pandemic. She was responding to an earlier statement from the Ghana Tourism Authority, which gave green light to drinking bars to operate alongside hotels and restaurants as government considers options to reopen the economy. Here's the minister addressing the press today.
The Ghana Tourism Authority, per directives issued to the hospitality industry, inadvertently eased up the restrictions applicable to the industry by indicating that food chains and restaurants could operate sit-down services by observing social distancing protocols. It was also indicated that drinking bars could operate and also comply with social distancing protocols, but nightclubs would remain closed. However, we wish to clarify that further to the directive of His Excellency the President regarding the extension of the ban on public gatherings, the status quo remains the same, which means that bars, drinking bars and nightclubs remain closed. They cannot operate. Food chains and restaurants, including restaurants in hotels, can operate takeout and delivery services. This means that you can go to the food chain like Aboagye or KFC, order your food and carry it away and have a meal in your home. Or you could go to a restaurant, order a meal and carry it away. On the other hand, you could also take advantage where they have delivery services to place a phone call, order your meal, and it will be delivered to you at home and you can enjoy your meal. So this is a clarification that we want to bring to the public and to the industry, and we hope that they'll ensure compliance with these clarifications.
Now, with schools temporarily closed, it means most bookbinders are out of business and hundreds of workers risk losing their jobs. As we continue to take stock of how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected businesses, Joy Business takes you to one of the popular hubs for bookbinders in Accra, where work is at a standstill. Aboagye-Wiafe, a suburb of Accra. On a normal day, this part of town bustles with activity. Is one of the major hubs for bookbinders. We have come to meet Nana Kweku Nchiboisiako. He is chairman of the Bookbinders Association. He has been in the business for about 30 years, since the 80s.
Those times was the best times. White man would say the good old days. From 85 where I started mine, we were about 5, and then now we can boast of about 2,000 people as we speak now.
Every street has a bookbinding factory, and chances are that every home you see belongs to a factory owner or a worker.
Before this COVID-19 will hit us, we do the production. We have orders from the schools and then from the open market as well. Some supply Kumasi as far as Tamale, and some to supply. The major ones supply at Okanshin, where we have the major stores that takes our books, and then Kofodia. Let's say across the country, the length and breadth of the country. We do supply everywhere.
But COVID-19 has changed everything. Various factory owners are in a meeting today to discuss the way forward, weeks after the president closed down schools temporarily to curb the spread of the virus.
We work hand in hand with GES. So any measure that GES will take, it goes against production of books, notebooks, and all that entails to a school, to give it to a school, it definitely affects them. So now that the COVID-19 has come to stay for some few months that we are fighting, battling it out, it has let the business go down because we can't manufacture.
The pandemic came at a very bad time, Nana Kweku tells me. The month of May is usually when production is at its peak. Now there's nothing to do. Nobody to produce for.
If you manufacture now, where are you going to sell it? Before this thing happened, we have already done a lot of books to the market where we haven't gotten our money. So even to raise capital to buy material to start business now is a big problem for us now. That's what we are thinking of. How to even get money to start the business when this epidemic is over. Even where to get the money to start afresh is the problem. Because when you go to the market, they will tell you haven't sold your books. So you can't even go. If you go for them, what are you going to do with it? So definitely it means you have to get new money to start another production. So as we speak, the effect is very huge.
Most of the factories have been shut for weeks and equipment already gathering dust. Besides the huge investments they've made in equipment, their other headache is to pay hundreds of workers they have employed.
They are the boys we normally work with every year. So we save money to keep them going. Because this thing is, let's say, by a month or two, it will be over. So assuming you don't pay them and then you let them go, when it's over, who is going to help you? So we don't pay them fully, but at least we give them something to keep them also going. Because they know what is going on now. We are not manufacturing, we are not selling. But at least we have to help ourselves. We meet ourselves halfway. So that's what we have been doing. We have been helping them halfway, just to keep them going till the pandemic is over. So for now, we don't pay full salary to them. We are meeting them halfway, just for them to survive.
For how long this can be sustained, Nana Kweku can't tell. What is obvious, they need support to survive this period.
We've heard that they brought in some measures that they are going to help the small-scale industries. I heard it on a radio and then on a TV, and they are yet to launch it. So that's what we are also praying that will be factored into it, that if there's any helping hand, they should also turn back and see those who work with the schools, because other factories are, since the lockdown has been lifted, other factories are working. But since we work with the school direct, we cannot work because schools are not open. So when you do the books, where are you going to sell it? So if financial support will come, we are begging the government to also put us into consideration and see how we are going to be able to stand on our feet again, because now we are down.
Yes, you deserve. Because imagine say you to receive 80% off.
Now though, with nothing much to do, the bookbinders are meeting to strategize the way forward.
The whole thing is a nightmare, I must be honest, a nightmare. So we are pleading to the government that if you come into our aid, when this small-scale loan is being introduced, they should also turn back to us and help us more, at least to cushion us, so we can stand on our feet. If nothing comes at all, it will be very difficult for us to work. Because I can tell you for a fact, somebody capital is 1,000 Ghana, somebody has 2,000 Ghana. The person has been in the house for 2 months now. You can imagine what has become of that money. It's gone. So you need something to start again. So it's like we are really down.
Down as long as the schools are closed. And we want to take you next to the Ashanti region, where business operators in Muslim communities have been badly hit by the suspension of this year's Eid al-Fitr festival due to COVID-19. Dealers in clothing and cosmetics are recording virtually no sales in an otherwise windfall season. Nanasan Mensa has visited some commercial hubs and service centers and filed this report.
In this holy month of Ramadan, our Muslim brothers and sisters are having to pray at home instead of congregating at the mosque and foregoing the public celebration of the Eid.
So it's left with some few days for the holy month of Ramadan to end. That is for our Muslim brothers and sisters to end their fasting. On a normal day, businesses within the Muslim-dominated communities take their peak. But now the story is different. So we are here to speak with business owners and shop operators, especially those who sell Muslim clothing and cosmetics, how they are keeping their business afloat in the face of the COVID-19. Here at Aswanse, almost all the shops sell Muslim clothes and accessories. Operators normally expect businesses to peak for high sales in the last 10 days of the holy Ramadan month of fasting. As adherents count down to the end of the annual spiritual exercise, patrons are expected to troop in to buy their needs for the celebration. The story, however, is different and one of gloom this year. Ibrahim Abubakar is owner of this shop. He sells wrappers and fabrics. He represents a number of businesses that are hard hit by the pandemic.
Last previous weeks, we've been trying, like they are buying one, you understand? But when was that? Is it Sunday? The moment the president announced that we can't do the distance, Salah, so the distance has stopped. Nobody is coming for it again. Yeah, so that's the main problem right now.
Just across the street is a fashion designer shop. It employs over 20 designers who sew for hundreds of clients. These empty seats here are supposed to be occupied by designers who have been asked to stay home because of the drastic dip in sales.
My name is Hadi. I'm a fashion designer. So, since morning, look, if it is last year, by now we are sleeping inside the store because of the job. But this year, look at our store. It's empty. Nobody even carry their goods, even children. Their parents will come. All this one that you are seeing that we are doing is for those who can afford. You understand me? If not, nobody came. So we are suffering.
Players in the value chain are suffering same fate. The situation here at one of the biggest boutiques in Asawase is no different. Hajia Ramatu complains she's had to shelve more than half of her stock as expectations to make big sales is now a mirage.
Last year and this year,
no, comparing to last year to this year, the business is not going on.
Among female youth, one hardly celebrates the Eid without plaiting their hair. These hairstylists have not received any clients since last Monday, a situation they say is a direct opposite of what happened in previous years.
My name is Aisha Adam. I am a hairstylist. This is the place I work. Those people who came here to come and plait their hair, they are not coming because of the sickness. We don't have, the customers refuse to come.
Uncertainties about when the COVID-19 pandemic will be over has really compounded the impact on commerce, trade, and social life. Every facet of businesses, especially those who operate within the Muslim-dominated areas, have really felt the pinch of the pandemic, especially in the face of the Ramadan amid the Eid festivities. My name is Nana Asansumensa, reporting for JoyNews.
And as you're being told, coronavirus is going to be with us for quite some time. You can imagine what that means. That's it for the marketplace. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.